guys, this is the 7th installment of the roster deep dive series, and in it we're going to be talking about one of the best teams in the game. You're able to start farming this team fairly early, but unfortunately because Starlord is a legendary Toon, you won't get him like at the very beginning. So it's kind of like an early to mid-game team. But that being said, they're so good it'll carry you from the beginning, middle, and end once you're able to put them together, and is honestly one of the best teams in the whole entire game. And I'm talking about the BKT or Minerva or Minnguardians. I call them Minnguardians team, and that's Minerva, Groot, Starlord, Rocket, Thanos. I'm also going to be talking about the other Guardians, Drax, Gamora, and Mantis in this video because they're critical to unlock Starlord here. So again, really good in arena. They'll carry you through most of mid-game arena. Really good arena defense as well. Probably the best Alliance War defense all around, although like there's definitely some Ultron hybrids that are better. Really solid in raids, the best Ultimate 6 rating team by far, and using pieces of this can be one of the best Ultimate 7 raids, so just a really good team to put together all around. And as they get more powerful, they get stronger, and it's just like you'll see their performance increase, so it's definitely worth putting a lot of energy and gear and time into them. So yeah. We're going to go through Minerva first. Okay, Minerva, God tier healing Toon, best healer in the game, really critical for raids if you want to really survive. Also super critical for Fear the Darkness because she's the best damage dealer and the best healer in that mode because her mass phlebotomy does 15% of all enemy health no matter what. It goes through everything, you know, defense up, doesn't matter. You know, if they have a lot of health, it just means more health they're stealing, so it's a really, really awesome ability. So as soon as you're able to get the orange gear, you're going to take her from tier 11 all the way to tier 13. Otherwise, you're just going to keep her at tier 11 for a while. 6664, you do not need to put any T4s into her because everything is percentage based, and the other T4s don't add more percentage to it. Just leave them be. And yeah, level 70, as soon as you can get her to tier 13, it's really valuable to do so. She also performs really well at low stars, which is good because you can only get her through premium orbs. Obviously, the more stars just means she's less squishy and just does a little bit more survivability. But even if you have her at 2 stars and everybody else at 5 stars, still really solid Toon. Okay, next is Thanos. Another Toon that's really hard to get, also only in premium orbs right now, but also another Toon that performs fairly well at low stars. The only thing that increases just his survivability, and since he's a tank, he gets hit a lot, but he has a naturally high health pool, so even at low stars, he can still take quite a few hits, which is good. That being said, the other difference is that his passive is amazing. You know, it's the thing that makes this team go. The extra ability energy is great, so you want to have him at 6665. You might be able to get away with 5665 for a while, but really you're just going to want to take him to 6665. Level 70, you can leave him at tier 11. He's not critical for Fear the Darkness because his passive is based on killing people. And if Fear the Darkness, you're not going to kill people that fast. It's just not going to proc as often, so not as critical. Okay, next we're going to look at the actual Guardians. So let me just make this a little smaller. So Starlord, another Fear the Darkness essential Toon, another guy that you're almost guaranteed to want to take to tier 13. Super critical with his improvisation and clever distraction abilities, that just make or break that entire mode to feed Minerva the energy so she can keep healing and keep doing damage to the enemy. He is a legendary unlock, so you need to spend a lot of time to get him, but he's a really good Toon. Improvisation, you definitely need to max out with T4s because just the extra chance to generate ability energy for adjacent allies is just so useful. You can imagine like a scenario where you're in Fear the Darkness, you feed 2 energy to Minerva, you also use the blind, which feeds another 2 energy to her, she gets 4 energy right there, and then on her turn it's a 5th energy, so it's like a 5 energy boost basically right away, so it's amazing. I also put T4s into his special. You do not need to. In fact, I would probably not recommend it to most people, but I was just getting a ton of use out of him in arena. For a while he was on every one of my arena teams, and in Fear the Darkness, that 50% chance to blind the third target, which doesn't sound like much, and it's not, can come in handy and can make or break you. But those are modes where you can restart, or modes that I was just doing like 5 times a day, you know, for like months at a time. So not necessarily required, but a really solid ability. You know, gear 13 as soon as you can. Otherwise, you can leave them at gear 11, level 70. Really good Toon. Next is Groot. Groot has the third passive that I would definitely upgrade. It's not as required as the other two, which is Thanos passive and Starlord's passive, but it is pretty much essential if you want to be a good defensive team. In Arena and in Alliance War, that ability to slow guaranteed will often make or break you, because what will happen is somebody will attack you, it'll slow them, and they'll just be like stuck, and you'll get in like three turns in or 2 turns in or whatever before they can even go, and you'll just crush them in that amount of time. Super valuable. He's not essential for Fear the Darkness, but he is a really solid pick. So if you're not taking the Fear of Darkness, tier 11, 6665 is what I recommend him at, level 7. Okay, Rocket. Rocket, one of the best damage dealers in the game, has the highest base damage, if not the best blaster, the second best blaster in the game. Also a really good pick for Fear the Darkness if you bring Groot. If not, then don't bring Rocket. Tier 11 otherwise. I have him at 6664, which is all you need him at. Some people put T4s into his special and ultimate. The special is better for arena and one-time fights. The ultimate's better for things like raid, where you wanted to kill a lot of enemies at once. Since it's not super essential, I don't recommend it. But if you just really love using Rocket, they're really solid upgrades. You won't regret doing it. Okay, that being said, let's talk about the rest of the Guardians, which are used to get Starlord. Now, they're really solid in raids, especially raids if you get assigned Guardians lanes. But if not, then you pretty much aren't going to use them that often. So you can leave them at level 60, tier 9, in just as many stars as you need to get Starlord. But if you are going to use them in raids, I recommend tier 10, level 70. Okay, Drax. His main purpose is a situational tank because he starts with taunt, so he'll eat a ton of first turn burst. If you're not really using him for that, it's not really important to have him do a lot of damage or anything else. So you can keep his basic at 5, his good fighting at 4 or 5, and his passive at honestly 2 or 3 or 4. It doesn't really matter. But the one you do want is his level 6 on his special. That's the one you do want to do. Gamora used to be one of the best damage dealers in the game, still really solid on, for example, the Brawlers team. But the key ones for her is her basic and her ultimate. You definitely want those at level 6. Her special, it's mainly used to clean up guys with very, very low health, so you don't need that very high. You can honestly keep it at level 4, which allows her to change it 2 targets sometimes. The extra damage is nice because it gives you that extra chance to reset by killing someone. But otherwise, it's not essential. As you can see in her passive, you can leave that at level 1 for the most part. It's just extra crit chance, which is nice, but not super essential. Mantis, when she came out, everyone thought she was going to be the next generation of healer after Night Nurse, and then Minerva came out, and everyone forgot about her. I happened to level her up quite a bit right before Minerva dropped, so that happened. But other than that, she's the second best raid healer, really good in Guardians only nodes. Basic, you don't need to level up that much. You can kind of keep this at level 5 for sure. The special is the one that you want to keep at level 6. Her ultimate, unless you're doing a lot of stuff in raids, you honestly can keep this at basically level 2. That's really all you have to do. You don't even need it to be level 3 or 4. Actually, you can honestly keep it at level 1 if you're never going to use her in raids. So, Will to Power, it's useful to have this a little bit higher, but you can probably stop at 3. Level 4 is not that much more. It's 5% extra health, so it's not going to make or break anything. And yeah, that's Mantis. I will say, if you find yourself running defenders all the time, running Guardians all the time, just pure Guardians, and you want to beat defenders, level 5 into her passive is really critical because it makes it 100% charge, so you can stun Luke Cage, which allows you to beat defenders with your Guardians team. But since Minnguardians are using it on defense, it's pretty rare to actually use this ability, so you'll probably keep it at level 4. Anyway, so that's the Guardians and BKT team, / Minnguardians. Really great team. Will carry you through the beginning, middle, and end. As soon as you're able to farm him, you're going to really want to farm him right away. Groot's the guy with the campaign node, so you're probably going to constantly be farming him until he gets to 7 stars. Rocket's also really difficult because he's in the raid store, which shares a lot with a lot of toons. But Drax is in Arena, Gamora and Mantis and Blitz, they're fairly easy to get. So as soon as you're able to get them, start getting them.